In this video, we're going to be answering and ending the age-old debate of whether extensions change the torque you're applying with a torque wrench. We're going to be covering 3/8, half-inch, chrome, wobblies, even going to be getting into torque angle with and without extensions, so hope you enjoy the video. Hey guys, it's Josh with the Update Channel, and you might notice it's getting dark. That's because I'm staying a little late today. And I'm staying late to answer the question everyone's always asked: do extensions change your torque? So let's find out. So this is the setup we have, and if anyone wants to skip all the preliminary checks of the torque wrenches and stuff, you can skip to 3 minutes and 50 seconds. That's exactly when the extension test starts, but what we've got is various lengths, wobblies, chrome, impact, 3/8, and half-inch drive extensions. I've also got a variety of torque wrenches and some sockets. Don't end up testing the sockets because the tool I'm going to be using doesn't really allow you to vary those sockets and test them. Now you might be wondering, well, how do you check that a torque wrench is even reading accurately? Well, you need to use something like this. This is a torque adapter, and this actually can be used in place of a torque wrench. It will read torque applied to it, whereas generally torque wrenches you set and then hope that they're putting out the correct torque. So this will allow us to measure the torque that the torque wrenches are putting out with and without extensions. I'm not being paid by AC Delco. They make this little tool. It's very inexpensive. I'll put a link to it if you want to get one yourself. It is an interesting tool, but it's going to allow us to do this test. So basically, we've got a 5/8 fine thread bolt stacked with washers, and then what we've got is this setup here, and what we're going to be doing is basically checking it out. Now, I have this on time-lapse at like 500% because it took a long time to verify that the torque wrenches were accurate. I found that the Snap-on half-inch torque wrench, the electronic one, is more accurate than my micrometer-style half-inch Matco one, so we're going to be using the Snap-on one. Also, between my Cornwell micrometer and my CAT split beam 3/8 drive, the CAT split beam was much more accurate. I test them in a variety of settings. This little adapter doesn't really read anything at 25, so we had to start at 35, and I worked all the way up to 150 foot-pounds. And the torque wrenches are reading accurately. Like I said, the split beam and the electronic were more accurate, so we're only going to use those two. But the point of this was to verify that the tool is accurate and also that my torque wrenches are reading accurate. So it is a valid test in my opinion. Now, like I said, I did do it in a variety of torque settings and was surprised at how accurate they were. So once they were all done, I then switched over to let's do the actual extension tests. And that's when we start doing the test, which starts right now. Time for some extension readings. So we're going to be using the split beam CAT and the electronic Snap-on because they seem to be the most accurate. Now I am using an adapter because this is half-inch drive. We're going to use this guy. And I'm not sure if you can see the numbers accurately. I'll say them out loud. There we go. Okay. So a little 3/8 extension. We're at 40 foot-pounds. Now remember, this was reading slightly high before. So we're applying 40 foot-pounds here, according to the torque wrench. What are we going to apply to the fastener? Let's see. I don't know if you can see that easily. Now I'm going to have to hold it, it's going to move. Just 41.8. So that's with a 3/8 extension. Now we're also using this adapter. Let's try it again.
Do they offer it at 30? I don't know. At the time, I don't.
41.7. Identical with the 3-inch extension.
Oh, really?
Yep. So now we're at 75 foot-pounds. Same extension. Gonna clear it. $75. How about a wobbly? a wobbly. So we're gonna try wobbly. We're gonna go back to 40. Now, I don't ever use these to torque things, but 42, and we're set to 40. So the wobbly didn't change much. Now it was in lock position. Let's try it with wobble position. Oh, sorry. 40. So not really a big loss in torque. Let's bump this up. Now I don't want to go to 75 with a wobbly extension. Let's go to 65. Okay, wobbly in wobble position. 65. 65.9. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah. No change. Okay. Now those were chrome and an impact. How about a snap-on? Now these snap-on ones are a little bit thinner. The bodies are than the chrome ones. It's a 3-inch. Let's do it at 75. And we'll do 1/2 inch next. Just want to see. Clear. This is 75, snap-on, 3-inch torque wrench. Of course, we have the adapter, but it's the only way I can do it. All right, I'm just holding it with my thumb so it doesn't move the position. $76, right on the money. What about a? I'm sure you'll find it. This is a 6-inch chrome, well, 5.5, close enough. Not chrome, 5.5 impact. Hard to tell anymore. We're gonna do it at 75. So we're still at 75. Really no point in going to 40 since there's no change. If it changes, we will try. So this is with a 5.5 inch. Move it back slightly so you can see it. And I'll say the number. $76 with a fairly long extension. No change, surprisingly. What about even longer one? This is an 8-inch chrome snap-on. I'm gonna put my thumb there just to keep it from tipping it. 79. 79. Actually more torque, interesting. Let's reset it, try it again. Go a little slower. 76, right on the money. So even though it's flexing, it's still applying 100% torque to the output. Very interesting. Now what about this cheap Harbor Freight 8.5 incher impact? If anything's gonna flex, it's gonna be this guy. And this is with 75 foot-pounds, 3/8 drive. Let's reset it. 78. So no flex. So do extensions change it? No. Now maybe that's because it's not a lot of torque. What if we stack extensions? So I've got my chrome into my snap-on. Reset. 75 foot-pounds, 3/8 drive. Stacked. So we have 3/8, 3/8, even an adapter. 75.8, right on the money. Perfect torque. No change. All right, let's go up in torque, see what happens. Obviously, a 1/2 inch, which is this guy, is much thicker than a 3/8. So I believe at the lower settings, if there is going to be any deflection, the 3/8 would have had it. But we're going to try 3-inch and a 6-inch at 75, then we'll move up and see what happens. I think if there's going to be anything, it's going to be at the higher torque settings. So Mr. Accurate. This is a basically 2.5 inch cheapy impact extension. Been used mucho. 75 foot-pounds on our torque wrench here. We have timed out, of course. What do we got? 73. Now remember, this was reading a little low compared to our snap-on one. So that's showing 77, but There, let's try again. $77. 83. My goodness. So let's just double check this guy without an extension. See if it's overreading at 75, or if indeed this extension is causing an issue. So 78, showing 82. So it is not the adapter or anything. It's just these are showing a slight disparity. We're gonna try it one more time. I'll go super slow. $72.9 and 75. So the disparity is between this guy and the torque wrench, not between the extension. Okay, well that's low torque. Let's go up. Let's go to 100. You might be saying, well, why didn't you use a longer extension at 75? Because we weren't getting a difference on the 3/8, so not really that concerned with a 1/2 inch, which is much bigger. Okay, here we go. So zeroed, we're set to 100 foot-pounds. See what happens. I'll just put my thumb here because it's moved 98.5. We're showing 102.8. So the couple PSI, not PSI, foot-pound disparity is the same. Okay, that's 100 foot-pounds. What about a 6-inch? Clear it. 100. If there's no change, we'll go up in torque again. Let's see. 100.2, and we're showing 105. So let's try it one more time, a little slower. Because that lost, like, it was a 1 foot-pound difference. 96.5. 100, so about 4. So no variance in the length of the extension. So let's go up quite a bit. Let's go up to, let's pick a number, 190. That's what you torque main caps to on C15s before you torque turn them. 190. That's a lot. This thing's supposed to go up to 250, so let's see. Nope. We're at 185. 190. See it. Try and turn it so you can see it. Okay, so let's clear it. Is that better? Okay, so we're still set at 190. $183.3, and we're at 191. So 8 foot-pound differential. Really about the same. Only 1 foot-pound difference between a 3-inch, 2.5-inch extension and this at 190 foot-pounds. A little bit of a difference, but I think it's within margin of error, definitely. You have a lot more flexion too. So let's try this 6-incher. 190 foot-pounds still, folks. So let's clear. Now I'm not holding it, I'm just preventing it from trying to twist this guy. $184 and $194. So let's try it again. Go as slow as we can on this one. $185 194. No difference, folks, with extensions. What about this long one? This is a 9 1/4. What a weird size. 9 1/4, 190 foot-pounds. This is long. Look at that. Think it's gonna change? No idea. All right, now this one I'm gonna hold lightly just so it doesn't twist and move the thing I'm trying to turn. 190 foot-pounds, folks. 183, 193. So, no real difference between lengths of extensions. Now, this is the longest one I got. I got this from, this is a Snap-on. This is an 11-inch chrome. Let's give it a try. 190. $184, 195. No change, folks. So, do extensions change your torque? No. No, they don't. Now, maybe through an impact they do, but with a torque wrench, checked in 3/8, different torque settings, they don't change your torque, folks. So, now the question is, what about torque angle? Now, before we get into torque angle, how about a little destruction of the week? Now, these photos were submitted by Greg. Thank you, Greg, for submitting these. And these were in a C15 that the customer was eating coolant for months, and they just decided to keep running it. As you can see, if you're losing a lot of coolant and you know what's going on in the crankcase, it's a bad idea to keep running the engine, folks. It coats and mixes with the oil and just ruins everything, basically. This picture is the best at last. Look at that. You can see the ladder plate indentations in the sludge in the oil pan. That is amazing and disgusting. Let's get back to work. Okay. So here we are. It's been torqued to about 25 foot-pounds. So this, every 90 degrees, these lines will mark up. That's it. Except for this one, for some reason. It keeps erasing itself. Anywho, so this should turn 90 degrees. 90 degrees. Now, I'm not going to ratchet it during the procedure. We're going to set it there. Let's see what happens. Pretty close. I'd say it's a little early, but pretty close. I'd say that's accurate. Within a degree or two. There's a little sponginess in the bolt too. Same test. So we're lined up. Now we're going to ratchet it while we do it. We'll simulate in a chassis. So, here we go. Okay, we're at 39 degrees, so we're going to ratchet. Yeah, a little more. Now I'm going to cut in and do some voiceover here. I was actually critical of it a little bit in the original recording, but having watched it, it's actually quite accurate whether you ratchet it or not. So the reason I'm doing this is because generally when I'm torquing stuff underneath the truck, I notice that it doesn't seem to be quite as accurate as I would like it. So I'm trying to figure out what's going on. Is it the ratcheting mechanism? Is it the extension? So what we're going to do next is try it with an extension and see what happens. And ratcheting. So our lines are still marked, lined up. Still set at 90. And we're going to ratchet. Ratcheting.
Ratcheting.
So once again, extremely accurate. So the snap-on and the torque angle in both these tests, with the extension, without the extension, ratcheting or not, has been accurate, which is good. However, the test I've done underneath vehicles doesn't seem as accurate. I'm going to do different tests in the future on that, but I really enjoyed making this video. It was very interesting to me because I always wondered about the extensions and heard all sorts of stuff from different people. Hopefully you guys learned something from this video. Thanks for watching.